Hey, what's up, guys? Back from the deck profile here. Now, I have a Unchained Dark World for you guys. I know I haven't done Unchained on the channel before. I think we had Cody on for Unchained. Shout out my brother Cody, dude. I'm gonna give another shout out to him later in this profile. But this deck has been working very well. It's very resilient too. I really enjoyed how it plays around hand traps because obviously Unchained was like very good against Droll and all that stuff, which. You know, this deck, Dark World, kind of plays into Droll and stuff, but I'll explain it as we go. Of course, a couple honorable mentions at the end that you wouldn't want to stick around for if I missed something you didn't see. But without further ado, nice 40 card Unchained Dark World. Also, big shout out to my boy YGOPD, my boy Zach, for letting me use the Unchained links in the extra deck. Because Yama's still like fucking $16 for some reason. Alright. Let's get right on into it. So, like I said, nice 40 carder. So 2 rainbow. I don't ever think you need 3 unless you're playing the Cerulli build. That's just kind of where we're at with that. 2 Graphas, of course. We're still playing the 1 Silva. There is no real hand-rip version in here, but you want to have something to search other than Grapha off of Rainbow after you start comboing. Also, this is probably one of the best discards off of Muckracker, so which absolutely comes up. And then the 3 Snow, 3 Genta, insane, of course. And then obviously we had the 1 Shavara. Shout out my boy Zach also for letting me get a super, even though I pulled one in an OTS pack at that last OTS. But the 1 Shavara, this card's just very insane too. And then we are playing a Tour Guide, of course, Tour Guide, and we are playing Sangan. So I'm gonna explain this. Obviously, Tour Guide makes Sangan, and then you make the Yama, and then the what you normally search, what I would normally search after you make the Yanma. So you'll like Tour Guide, these 2 into Yanma, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, or Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, whatever you want to do. I like to add the Shuffler. I am going to talk about other targets for this card later, but the 1 Shuffler I think right now is completely where you want to be at. Just because you can still, if they don't have Droll, you can still progress the plays as of like adding the other cards where they would like to stick in your hand. They just didn't. The 1 Salamander, this card's incredible in this deck specifically. Also, one thing too, I just want to point out, just in case you guys are worried about the 2 fires in the deck, the Shavara and the Salamander. If you want to get these out of the graveyard so they can't heat it, take them, and then make the Princess, you can banish them for gates because they're both fiends, so you can banish them at any point when you activate gates. So. Then for the dangers, we're just playing the 1 Jack, the 1 Sneck, the 1 Choop, the 3 Nessie, and the 1 Big Feats. I cut Mothman from this list just to make it 40 cards. It was 41 cards with Mothman. If you guys want to add the Mothman back, that's completely fine too. I just wanted to make it 40 cards, so you know. And then once again, we are still playing the horror stuff. We are playing the three different names, and you can paint up to me, babe. Before anyone comments in the comment section, I know that the Dark Worlds don't trigger off of discarding for Umseti or sending for King Sark. I'm very aware, so don't even ask me about that. It's more or less for the resilience of the rank 8 plays, the Coach King, the Zombie Vampire. Also, one thing about it too is, well, I'll get to that with the spells, but one of the spells comes up really heavily into it. So, and then shout out my boy Cody for the QCR Dark Corridor. He picked that up for me at YCS Vegas. And then the Ascension. This is more or less the card that really not solidifies, but really goes really well with the King Sark stuff. Not only discarding for Umseti, but you can discard this for King Sark, and then send a name, and then you can add this back to hand to discard a Dark World. So that's kind of how you get around it. And then we are playing the 1 card Destruction, the 2 King Sarks, and then of course the 3 gates. And then the last 2 cards are obviously the Unchained card and the 1 summon limit. This goes into the combo. You guys have seen me talk about Dark World, quite a few times. How like you play for 10 minutes or whatever and set up like Nightmare Griffin and whatever, and Griffin Muckracker, Griffin Chaos Angel, the Grapha Fusion, whatever you want to do really. But the summon limit is usually what you set off the Griffin. And then for the extra deck, the extra dip. Just 2 of the Grapha Fusion. This card's incredible. I think 2 is absolutely mandatory. And then one Chaos Angel. I had a comment recently come up. I guess, obviously, you know, the quote-unquote stereotype of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players can't read. But some guy asked in one of my Dark World comments, where's the tuner for Chaos Angel? This card doesn't need a tuner. That was in the Gen and Ken build. But, you know, still play this card. The card's incredible. And then for the Exceeds, the Zombie Vampire, the Coach King, the Typhon. Typhon's a fiend. Obviously, we are playing Zeus in here, too. Zeus is very good. And then for the links, we're just playing the 1 Yama, the 1 Rage, the 1 Muckracker, the 1 SP, the 1 IP. IP you usually use to make the, also Phoenix. Usually use the IP to make the Griffin, just so it's indestructible with card effects. The Griffin, and then the last one is the Saryuja. This was just the extra deck that I was really happy with. I really enjoyed how it played. You guys can look at the other Dark World lists and stuff on how I played those. And then the couple honorable mentions that I did want to mention for the tour guide. For the targets, I'm just going to pull this out real quick. Obviously, the tour guide, like I said, gets Sengen, and then once you link off the Sengen, it usually gets this. This will get, you know, sent to graveyard by one of the dangers later in the turn. It'll discard it some way. But since it's Shuffler, very good against the meta right now. But the other targets that you could search that were very good were the Cataville Omen. This card is a hand skip or a turn skip if you establish the Grapha Fusion. Just because it makes your opponent discard the card. So if you did Sengen search this and kept it in hand and made the Grapha Fusion on their turn when they played a card or whatever that you could rewrite the text of with Grapha, you could discard the Neko Main King and it would skip their turn. Also, another target to summon with Tour Guide would be Brow. This card never really came up for me. Brow was like very good in, you know, like way back in the day. Now it's not so much, which is kind of sad because I really like Brow. And then the other one you could search with Sengen is Droll and Lockbird. If you weren't going that far or you knew you were going to get Drolled, you would just usually search Droll off of Sengen, do the Yanma play, search Droll and Shavara, they would Droll you, and you'd be like, okay, cool. And then the other honorable mentions, I didn't want to talk about Heatwave. I know this card's just been, you know, really, really talked about recently. This card's very good for decks specifically like this, where the shifter just ruins your entire turn. So normally you would side this in. You would, you know, they're going second, you're going first. Draw for turn, they shifter you in standby or main, or draw or standby, and then main phase 1, you just heat wave them, and then you can even set a monster if you wanted to, probably not, but you could, and then you pass back to them, and then it turns the shifter off, and then they can't summon either, and then the shifter's off and goes back to you. So this is kind of how you skip shifters with heat wave. And the honorable mentions for the extra deck, obviously, also the Buzz King's a fiend. Cerberus, also this card's very good, co-linked as well, but it's better with the Gen and Ken because you can pop the Ken that you give them and draw a card once it's co-linked. The other Unchained cards, the Abomination, the Link 3 Unchained guy if you wanted to, that card never even came into my mind. I don't really like that card that much in this deck. Obviously in pure Unchained, that's fine. The Underworld Goddess, this card's also a fiend. And then the boy, the Zealantis. This card's very good too. You can make, like, the way you can do it is you can basically banish their whole board, kind of like it is in Marincess, where you lock yourself into waters and then banish the board, and if their shit's not water, it's not coming back because you're the one specialing it. It's the same in this deck where you would make like Saryuja or Griffin into Zealantis, and then use Muckracker effect, and then banish everything, and then only the fiends return. So it's kind of like that, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to point this stuff out. You know, just thought you guys would enjoy it, and I really enjoyed the Unchained stuff. Yama is just a super cool card. It kind of reminds me of Romulus, which you guys know, Dragon Link. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys want to see more Dark World stuff. I got a lot more Dark World lists and whatever, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.